Hey, this is OJ with Byzantine, and you're watching CMS TV.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming? Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight? Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Ow!
And welcome to Wednesday.
Howdy, folks.
That's all I got, man.
And good night.
And we'll see you.
Thank you for tuning in and for your interest.
Hope you enjoyed the show.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes,
All
we
right.
are. We are quite the pair, aren't we?
Yeah, we are the Mash Brothers. It has not been a good week. Let's just be honest, as far
No.
as our health is concerned.
Not at all.
So, if you want to explain what happened to you on Monday,
Sure. Well, this has actually been going on for me since last week. Since last probably Tuesday. I don't know what I did, but I somehow pinched the nerve or aggravated the nerve in my neck that caused me a year and a half ago to be down for like 2 months or 3 months.
yeah,
I have no idea what I did. Just woke up. It was hurting. It's not as bad as it was that before, but it's still like sitting is killing me. Just sitting up is absolutely killing me. So I've been doing a lot of laying around and working on the iPad for a couple of days, but I toughed it out I toughed it out when we did our show Wednesday last week, and I toughed it out Thursday when we did Fright Bite with Eric. But then that was it. I was like, there's no way was I doing 6 hours of CMS, and there was no way was I doing Monday, and I didn't do yesterday either with Chris Akin Presents, so I'm giving it a go today. And yeah, it already feels great.
I was going to say something else, but I realized that this is a non-swearing event today.
Yes, no swearing today.
So I got to watch what I say. So I'm not going to say what I thought you were doing to hurt your neck. But
I was trying to reach it.
There you go. You read my mind.
See, I said it without saying it.
Yeah. And then on Monday, my car took a crap again. And all of a sudden, I was hearing like my brakes were sounding like crap.
Okay.
And I just had them done 2 weeks ago, all 4.
Right.
But every time I stepped on a brake, something sounded like junk. And so I had to take my car back to Charlie. Charlie's auto repair in Lakewood.
Mm-hmm.
And he took all 4 tires off, checked the brakes, and everything seems fine. He said there was a heat shield or there was some exhaust shield or something that was kind of hanging down that he took care of, but now I'm still hearing the sound. But he said he checked everything, so I'm going to go with everything's just fine.
So it's just a natural noise that you never heard before that now you hear.
Yes. That's what we're going to go with.
All right.
Until all 4 tires fall off as I'm driving on the highway.
Nice.
But I mean, it seems to be stopping. So
there you go.
We checked everything. Checked all the calipers or whatever they're called and all that kind of crap. But then on Friday, I started feeling a little bit weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday, man, my throat was killing me. And no, it does not go back to what I thought your problem was. But I just started feeling awful. And then today, I am just really sick. I mean, I have the flu or the new COVID, whatever it is. Because I got a sore throat, head hurts, I got congestion going on, body aches, and all this other garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like you've got the ick, whatever that is. I had it last week. Remember last week? I wasn't feeling especially great either. But hopefully you don't wake up in a day or two with your back all thrown out like I did.
No. You all look like $1 million though.
Yeah, great.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure we do.
$1,000,000 rupees, maybe.
Yeah.
$1,000,000 pesos, worth about $1.50.
Is there a need to make that comment? I mean, like, we know what we look like, all right? We got it.
Yeah, we know we're a disaster.
Fat guys, and we're a disaster. It's fine. We got long hair, beards, and everything. We look stupid, but that's our choice. So if you don't want to look at it, then turn down. Just turn up the sound and don't watch.
That's right. There's an audio component. Just wait till tomorrow. It'll be up.
I mean, I'm a pig. I'm a disgusting fat body pig, and I've been told that numerous times by people I love. And so, what's the difference?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm a big old fat pile of goo. It's fine. We know. We're aware.
I never understood the people that have to point out, God, you're fat. Really? Like, that.
Thanks.
Like, what the hell? Are you serious? I looked in the mirror the other day. I didn't see a fat guy. What happened to me?
Yeah, I know. I always like to, and I've done this before, and it definitely does not endure me to friends. But if somebody says to me stuff like that, oh man, you look like you're gaining a little weight. Yeah, you're seeming a little more stupid than you used to be too.
Right.
Yeah. You're
News
definitely
flash.
not as smart as me. You seem kind of dumb too.
How about this? I've been fat since I was like 16 years old.
Yeah,
okay?
we get it.
Over it.
Yeah, we got it.
So you don't need to point it out to me.
I do love when people are like telling a fat guy that they need to lose weight or something. Yeah, really? You're kidding. Are you really going to eat that? Thanks, Doc. Glad you're on board to tell me the pizza's bad for me. I got it.
And look, like I can handle a doctor maybe saying, "Hey man, you need to lose a couple of pounds," but it's the people around me that want to make jokes or they think that they're helping me by calling me fat. I mean, they're not helping anything.
See, I won't even take it from a doctor. Sorry, I know that sounds crazy or whatever, but it's like even walking into the doctor's office. First of all, the doctor will never just say it. If they'll just say it, that's one thing. But when you go to the doctor and the doctor's like, well, the first thing you could do is get yourself in a little better shape. Yeah, no kidding, Doc. I get it. I'm fat. I got it. How about you diagnose what I'm here for, not what you think I'm here for? How about that? I told you my neck hurts. I don't need you to tell me that I need to lose 100. I got it.
Yeah.
I'm aware. Just fix my neck, you dummy.
Yeah, I really appreciate the advice. Like, look, I understand there's a certain amount of concern that goes into it with certain people, and so I get it. But there's no need to point it out, especially a non-doctor. Like you're not my doctor. I talk to my doctor. Look, I've been to the doctor numerous times over the past like year or whatever, and my cholesterol's good, my heart, blood pressure's good. Yeah, I mean, there are certain medications that I take that cause gain weight. or weight gain.
Yeah.
Some of this insulin stuff that I take, it says specifically on like the bottle, may cause weight gain. Well, it happens. I mean, what do you want from me?
Yeah. Dude, I'm in the same boat. I mean, I'm in the and I think I've talked about this before, you know, with all the skin grafts, with 60% of my body being skin graft, there's no sweat glands. So I'm not allowed to work out more than 15 minutes at a hit. So what am I going to do? Work out 15 minutes, then stop for a half hour, then work out 15 more all day long so I can get in the right amount of work? Get out of here. It's the only real negative that I have from the burn unit or from the burn accident is that now I'm a fatso. But so what? I don't care. I'm not trying to live to be 100 anyway.
So just tell people you lost weight when you lost a leg. Absolutely. What I should say is, now that I don't have one of my legs, there's no way to distribute the fat as much as it was before. So now the fat, instead of going to that one leg and spreading it out, kind of spreads to my stomach. What do you want?
What you ought to say is, why don't you mind your effing business?
Well,
how about that? How about that instead?
I think I kind of did, and I think that may have caused some issues, but, it is what it is.
Issues, and look, I don't care who it was that said this to you, and I think you told me this, but whoever it was that said this to you doesn't have the right to say it to you. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're the closest family, your wife, your daughter, your doctor. I don't care who it is. They don't have the right to tell you that. Mind your own business. Don't worry about me. I'm worrying about me. You worry about you. How about that?
You know me, though. I'm a very emotional kind of guy.
Oh, no, I get it. What I'm saying is you should have fired right back.
I did. Oh, believe me, I did.
Yeah.
But, that didn't really prove all that.
There's nobody has the right to jump in your face about something that has, especially if it has nothing to do with the day. Well, yeah. If you were this happened at your daughter's party, correct?
Yeah, just before.
Wrong place. If that person wants to have a one-on-one conversation with you, okay, that's fine. But in the middle of a stressful day where you got a million other things going on, oh, by the way, Seth, you need to lose some weight. You're getting fat. Shut up. Shut up.
Yeah, to me, it was just a hurtful thing because, again, I'm not stupid. It's not like my house came with mirrors. I have to get dressed every day. I do take showers, despite what some people may think. I mean, I do, I'm aware of the situation. And so, you do the best you can. I'm not as active as I used to be for obvious reasons. I mean, I have a leg right now that, seriously, it hurt so bad to walk up the stairs today because I think there was like a blister or a cut or something down there. And it hurts. It hurts to move, hurts to walk around.
Right.
And, it's not that easy. It's not that easy like it used to be to go to the gym or, the rec center and get on a bike or do whatever, or treadmill and stuff that I used to do. It's not that easy. It's not that easy to roll out of bed and do sit-ups and stuff like that because once you get on the floor, I can't get up. There's a lot of things that are very prohibitive now that didn't used to be.
And again, and this is where I always get really annoyed with people. Part of their scolding you or castigating you or whatever you want to call it is their assumption that you care. You know what I mean? They come into it with an assumption of they're going to teach you something. And you know what? Some people don't care. Honestly, Seth, and I'm not trying to turn this into the negative show or nothing, but I'm going to. If everything goes kind of the perfect way you want it to go for the rest of your life, how many years is that?
How many years do I expect to live?
Do you want to? Not expect to, want to.
I'm not 50 yet, but I would hope that.
Do you want to be 100?
No, I hope to make it to 70.
Yeah, 70. Okay, realistic. So about 20 more years.
Yeah.
If you got yourself down to, how tall are you? What, about 6'2"?
6'1".
6'1". If you got yourself down to about 180 pounds, and I know I'm really going out there with the 180 pounds, but if you got yourself down to 180 pounds, Isn't that more than likely to keep you around more than you want to stay around?
Probably, yeah.
That's what I mean. If you got yourself down to 180 pounds, you're probably going to stay around to being about 80, right? Which is 10 years of hard labor with that one leg.
Right.
Because those are the 70 to 80. Those are the 10 years where healthy people are putting you in a chair and putting you at the home.
Right.
You're Uncle June at the end of The Sopranos, just staring at a wall. You know, that's how I look at it. You know, I'd love to lose a bunch of weight, but I also love pizza. And I'm going to eat the pizza because I'm not going to be here till I'm 70 years old. I'm going to be dead in probably 5 to 10 years. I know that. It's part of the game. I accept it. You know, if I really wanted to stretch for those extra few years, you'd see me eating salads and doing nature walks and stuff like that. But I'm just not going to do that. It's not what I want.
I mean, look, I do want to live long enough to be able to see my daughter graduate college and maybe have a family and that kind of thing. But I understand when I looked it up, it said generally people with amputations and stuff like that tend to have a shorter lifespan.
Of course, yeah.
And it bothers me, and I don't necessarily like that, but you do have to come to grips with that at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it is difficult to get around. It's not as easy as it used to be.
It's not, no.
And I don't know what else is going to happen to me down the road. I have no idea.
Dude, people don't, and me and you have had this discussion here before. People do not understand when you've gone through something, a major health thing, how much it changes. They don't the littlest things to them that they don't even think about. Just the littlest thing, watching a movie and jumping up to make about a bag of popcorn.
Right.
No, that's a simple thing. I guarantee, I don't know this to be true, but tell me if I'm right or not. If you got that urge, if you were watching Judge Judy on tonight and you wanted a bag of popcorn, there's 10 minutes of sitting there convincing yourself, okay, I got to get up and I got to balance and I got to make my way in there and I got to find this thing and hopefully I don't have to get up on a tiptoe because I don't know if I could do that with the one leg. All this stuff goes into your head before you even make the move, correct?
Of course. Like, even when I go to bed at night and I'm like, I wake up and I know that I have to go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there going, do I really want to do this right now? Because I don't. I want to go back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But no, instead it's, all right, there's no getting around this. I got to get up. I got to roll out and take the covers off somehow. And then I got to climb into a wheelchair. Then I got to turn around. I got to put my leg on. And then I got to get up and go to the bath. By that time, then you're not tired anymore.
Yeah, it's 20 minutes to take a pee, and then at the end of it, then you're wide awake where you can't just go back to sleep. And now it's 3:00 in the morning and you're stuck.
Even before the show today, I was laying down because, again, I'm sick with a cold, flu, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like garbage right now. I'm achy and I was laying there going, well, man, I gotta go to the bathroom, and I didn't have I didn't have the rubber liner on my leg. There was nothing on my leg, and I had to really go. So it was a matter of have to go now. So I had to get into the wheelchair again. I had to wheel into the bathroom. I had to stand on one leg, try to balance while I'm getting the toilet seat up and that kind of thing, and then trying to figure out how to go to the bathroom like just standing on one leg without falling over.
Right.
I mean, it's not the easiest of things all the time.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds nasty to even talk about, but it is. It's true.
Well, dude, that's just what I was saying. The regular things are now not the things that everybody that's listening do not listen to at all or do not think about at all are actual very much mindful things that you got to think about now.
Like, we went to my daughter's graduation ceremony on last Friday night at it was really nice at State Theater. And, it says dress nice for the event, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm driving down there. What people don't understand is that even driving is difficult with when you put jeans on them.
Sure.
Or pants on them. Because now you got to because I got to take the leg off to drive. Right? I got hand controls, that's fine, but you have to take the leg off so it doesn't hit the pedals that are down there.
Right.
And so, and he can't really fit in there real well with the fake leg on. It doesn't bend the way that everybody else does. And so, I got to take the leg off to drive. Well, getting, pants over and everything off of the leg and on the leg and everything else is really kind of a pain in the butt.
Sure.
It's not easy. And so, there I am, the one guy wearing shorts to the graduation because that's what's easiest. That's the way it's easiest to drive. It's the way it's easiest to get in and out of the car is by wearing shorts. And so something that small, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. No, you're right, dude. You're
different.
100% right.
And so, when you get sick too, if you get sick and you got to run to the restroom to like throw up or something like that, it's not that quick. There's times where you're just stuck in the middle of trying to get there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, dude, it's kind of, people don't look at that. It's somebody saying something to you based on their experiences. Shut up. That's kind of where I will continue to land on this is shut up. You don't have the right. You just don't have the right to say nothing about it. You're not living my life, so don't worry about it.
I hate to say it, but I mean, sometimes you eat when you're depressed or you're sad, and sometimes you go through that kind of stuff. When you've been through what you and I have been through with the kind of crap that we've had to deal with, there's certain times where you are sad, and maybe you do eat. Maybe you are lonely and depressed, and you're wondering, is this stuff ever going to get any better? And then you realize that it's not. It's not going to get any easier. In fact, it's most likely going to get tougher as time goes on.
Yeah, no, you're right.
The older you get, the tougher it's going to be.
Yeah, and you go through those moods.
When I'm 60, if I make it that long, I mean, it's going to be very, very difficult to move around compared to even what I am now.
Yeah, you'll probably be spending more time in the chair than you will be in the walk.
Yeah, and it does get depressing. Then like I saw. I don't even know if I want to call him out, but he used to be the mayor of Seven Hills. So if you know that, you probably know who he is.
Okay.
And he was on Facebook, and he put something like, "I hate seeing all the fat people driving scooters at Disney World." And then another thing he had said before is, "I hate seeing fat people drinking Diet Coke." Well, it's like, dude, who the hell are you?
Yeah.
I took a scooter because I am a bigger guy, but I took it because I have one leg and I can't walk the entire park like that. But who the hell are you to judge anybody?
I hate
make it as a mayor.
I was gonna say I hate seeing ex-mayors acting like dicks, but unfortunately you're showing me one.
I mean, it's beyond frustrating. And sometimes people don't look at what they say, and it's hurtful. I mean, it is. The other day, yesterday, I came out of the restroom at the gas station, and this little girl was standing there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it couldn't have been more than like 4 or 5. And she goes, "Daddy, look, I told you, look at his leg."
Yeah.
And she's pointing right at my leg as I'm walking out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not mad at he just picks her up and walks away.
Right.
Now, I'm not mad at that little girl. That little girl doesn't know any better. But who does? That dad. That dad who didn't say, "Hey, sorry about that, man. She's not used to seeing that," or, "Hey, that's pretty cool, isn't it, honey? Let me say hi to her." No, and pick her up and whisk her away, and I'm just standing there like a jerk. I mean, I don't blame her. I blame the parent.
Yeah, I get that every once in a while from little kids. Little kids will see my arm or something. I'll be like, "Look, mommy, he's got alligator skin," and I just laugh it off when it's little kids.
It doesn't bother me when a little kid does it, but it bothers me when the dad doesn't, just picks her up and walks away without saying anything.
Yeah, the dad could do better at teaching his kid that, you know what, some people got that. I almost swore. Some people got that going on with them, and you have to accept it or deal with it.
Or just have her talk to me and I can explain it to her, or I'll make a joke. I'll just say, "Yeah, it's shark attack." I mean,
you'll scare that kid forever from ever swimming again.
Right. Shark attack in Lake Erie. You better watch out.
Got a pool in your backyard, kid? Watch out for those sharks.
Or
This is what happens when you don't listen to your parents.
That's right.
Just
just to pick her up and walk away without even saying anything to me. It's
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. It should have at least given. Oh, I'm sorry, she said that or whatever.
Something.
Yeah.
It's frustrating when you deal with people like that. It is.
Yeah, that parent's a jag-off. There's no doubt about that. But
There are just certain things that are frustrating that when people say it to you, you do sometimes take it to heart. It does make you sad.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want this for my life.
yeah,
And God knows I've made mistakes in my life and I regret them. But I didn't ask for this. And I certainly, when I was 15, 16 years old and I was thinking about my future, I wasn't thinking about, hey, I was going to be a radio guy making next to no money and having one leg. Mm-hmm. And it's the way my life worked out. I deal with it the best that I can. But then have people point out your flaws on top of that. I already know what they are. Thanks for telling me.
yeah. And it's like, yeah, I don't need you to tell me. I got it. I think I can figure out that I could lose some weight. Thanks, though. Appreciate
All right.
that.
Since we are doing a show for the radio, well, let's take a quick break here, and we'll be back in about a minute. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Hang on.
Are you ready to shred? CMS Rocks is your 24/7 heavy metal fortress. We bring you the best of metal, from classic anthems to the latest shredders. Experience Metal Shop Mondays and catch the Classic Metal Show replay every Wednesday. Why pay for metal when CMS Rocks blasts the best, heaviest tunes all day, every day? Tune in now, wherever you are, on your phone or any device at www.cmsradio.net. Don't drop cash on streaming. Let CMS Rocks destroy your speakers with the ultimate metal playlist. Tune in now at www.cmsradio.net and get your face ripped off.
When disaster strikes, we come together. Here at Mario's Barbershop, we've turned our passion into purpose. As Hands to America, a 501c3 nonprofit, we're on the ground helping those hit by hurricanes, floods, fires, and tornadoes, right here in northeastern Ohio and nationwide. But we can't do it alone. We need your help to keep this vital work going. Your donations, whether it's cash or vehicles, can bring hope to those who've lost so much. Join us in making a real impact. Every donation fuels relief efforts and helps rebuild lives. Call us at 844-864-2637 or locally at 216-520-1977 or visit us at handstoamerica.org to see how you can help.
Right back here on the Seth Williams Show with Chris Akin. Do you think that God has a plan for you?
I think it's already been played out.
You don't think there's a final ending to this play that you're in?
Oh, like a final plan, like how I'm gonna die or whatever?
Or there's a reason why you didn't die during your accident? And
Well, I honestly think the reason I didn't die during my accident was to do all the things that I've done. All the stuff that I've done is stuff that I wanted to do. Like even when I was young, but I was too lazy. The burn accident for me was kind of like a really hard wake up call to get out there and do stuff. And I've talked about this all the time. Before I got hurt, dude, I took that job at the steel mill that I was working at.
yeah.
So that I wouldn't have to think. That was what I told my now ex-wife, was I want a job where I don't have to think. I want a job where I could just go in, do my time, and come home and get a paycheck. I wanted the most irresponsible things I could possibly have because I was that kind of lazy. And I was working third shift, then coming home and just running crazy because I didn't have to work like first shift or whatever. So I was just running around, partying, drinking, doing whatever. Once I got smoked, then all of a sudden I got busy. That's when I started writing books and building businesses and all of that stuff has led to other stuff. Speaking at colleges, speaking to to, nursing students about burn accidents and stuff, and, and all this podcasty stuff that I do where I get to spew my history to various audiences and stuff. I think that ultimately is what I was supposed to be doing the whole time, communicating.
Because sometimes I feel like I was on the right path to doing something that I was supposed to be doing, and then all of a sudden I missed it and started doing the not the old Seth way, because the old Seth way would have been having a lot more fun than I am now. But just kind of like, there are definitely times that I wallow more in misery than I look forward for an answer to why I'm here and to what I need to be doing other than this podcast. But like just working where I'm working, or doing this kind of thing, or sitting around door dashing or whatever it is.
Sure.
Like I'm missing something that I was meant to do, and my life has got to mean more or be more than this.
I think, and again, I don't know your day-to-day personal life as well as, I'd probably know it better than some, but not as good as others. I think the thing that you lost the most from your accident has nothing to do with your leg and nothing to do with mobility or any of that stuff. I think you lost the ability to take risks. Because, and let me explain that. I think if you would have not had your leg problem, if you would not have had your leg accident, and you would have just got fired from TAM, you would have been a lot more likely to roll the dice and do something different and bigger and whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah.
But you didn't, because at the same time that you would have been doing that, you were also reinventing how to navigate stairs, and you were reinventing your life at the time that you would have taken the risk. And now it's like, I honestly think probably here in the next 6 months you're going to take a big risk on something. I just think you will, because once the dust settles from Molly leaving and you really settle into, okay, this is the way it is now, you're going to be looking for something to do with that time. And you're already frustrated with the money. So you're going to look. It would shock me none if you end up being one of these day traders or something that just teaches yourself day trading and, throws $1,000 into an account and slowly builds it into $100,000 or whatever.
Well, I know that there has to be a change. That's what I know. And that is now more clear than ever, that there has to be a change. There has to be a change either just with my life. I can't. Look, as I was pointed out to you over the weekend, I'm fat and I'm getting older, and I need to start making some different moves in my life, and that may be moving. Period. I can still do yes with you and stuff from wherever I go, but going somewhere where it's warm, going somewhere where I look outside and I'm happier than maybe a different change of scenery. And
sure.
Look, I know the business of radio is not exactly what it used to be.
Sure.
It's nowhere near what it used to be. And so financially, there's just not a whole lot of opportunities out there. And maybe there is. Maybe there is in a different city or a different market wherever I end up. But most likely not. But the last thing in the world that I want to do, and this may sound stupid to some people, but it's me. The last thing in the world that I want to do is end up getting another gig, another job, and something else where I'm actually making some decent money, more money than what I've been doing in radio for 25 years, and then have to deal with people going, "Oh, hey, aren't you Seth from the radio?"
Oh yeah,
and then having to deal with that on a day to day would suck for me. And I mean, because I like what I do and I don't want to give it up,
right?
But I may be forced to just because of circumstances.
Not necessarily forced to.
Look, dude, what am I gonna? When's the retirement age? 65?
Yeah, something like that.
Dude, that's like 15 years away from me. 17 years. No, my birthday's on July 1st, so 16 years.
Yeah.
I don't have a nickel put aside, dude.
Dude, we're not retiring type. Neither one of us.
I'm gonna die as a Walmart greeter.
Maybe.
I'm gonna keel over into the cart.
But you might die being the best Walmart greeter. Who knows?
But you understand what I'm saying? I know.
I do.
I'm at a point in my life. I don't know if you want to call it a midlife crisis or whatever you want to call it, but I'm at a point in my life where things have to change. Something has to change for my mental, wellness, my physical wellness. It's something's got to give. I got to make some definite, major changes in life.
Yeah. Well, and dude, they're there to make though. I mean, dude, and again, I am not trying to tell you by any means what to do or not to do. All I'm trying to do is to make you open your mind a little bit. Like, radio real well. That's fair, right?
Right, yeah.
And you certainly know how to book guests, and you certainly know how to, run a show, run a board. You could take all those skills and maybe turn it into something that could be profitable. Maybe what you do is you start a radio consulting business or a podcasting consulting business where people come to you and say, yeah, I want to do a podcast about boats and planes. And you go to them and say, okay, well, here's how you do that. You're going to have this board. You're going to have this microphone. You're going to have a schedule. You're going to have to book these guests. You're going to need this much time. You're going to need this kind of an email to get this going. All that kind of stuff. And you put all that kind of stuff together and you sell it to somebody for, I don't know, a couple $100, or you make an online course. First step, having a good microphone. Here's the microphones that I recommend from SethWilliamsBroadcaster.com.
Yeah, and you're right, but I guess sometimes I think that you look at me and go, God, this some bastard's lazy.
No, I don't think that.
I'm not. I get frustrated because I sit there and go, man, I don't even know where the first step of this is. I don't know what the first beginning step of. How do I get to this point?
But go back to
I say forget about it.
Go back 5 minutes ago. What I said was that I think, and tell me if I'm wrong on this. I think you lost the ability to take a chance.
Yes.
When you lost your leg, because everything that you're saying is not being willing to jump in the pool.
Yes.
You're looking at the pool going, I'll bet it's cold. I'm not jumping in because I'll bet it's cold. Instead of in the old days, the Seth that was my intern at MMS would have taken his clothes off in the studio with 100 people and dove into a pool that was covered with ice cubes.
Absolutely.
Because that was the old, I don't care, I'm taking my shot guy. When you went through your accident or your injury, I don't know what we're calling it, accident, injury, whatever. When you went through that, you lost that ability to just roll the dice and wherever it lands, it lands. And that's the piece that you got to find if you want to change something. There's always stuff to do, dude. There's always stuff to do.
I mean, you're right. Because I, like you said, I was the kind of guy that I would bring on bands at back then, Gun Arena in front of 20,000 people and didn't care.
Yeah.
And now I sit back and I just want to sometimes crawl into the corner and
sure. But dude, and again, it's your scope is narrowed. You got to open the scope. You got to widen the scope a little bit. I'll give you a perfect example. It's something I've thought about doing myself. You know my passion for wrestling. I really enjoy wrestling a lot. And I watch all of it. I watch TNA and I watch AEW and I watch WWE, all the shows. I watch all of it. There are guys, I watch several of them. There's What Culture Wrestling. There's JD from New York 206. There's WrestleTalk.com. These guys, they go live on YouTube immediately after any event. Whether it's a pay-per-view or even whether, like tonight, there's a 4-hour Dynamite tonight.
Yeah.
When Dynamite ends at midnight, these guys will go live on their channel at 12:15 in the morning, and they'll do an hour recapping the show. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
The one I watch the most is this JD from New York. This guy, it's him and one other guy. All he does is he'll watch the TV show and then he'll read it back and give his comments and his feelings about the show and if they're telling a good enough story or whatever. At the end of his show, he reads super chats, and he does easily $2,000 to $3,000 a show. Easily.
Wow.
And all he's doing is exactly what you and I are doing right here. You know, that's all he's doing.
All right, well, that's memo to our audience. $2,000 to $3,000 a show would be fantastic.
Well, he does ask for them. We don't. I mean, that's the one thing. He does ask for the super chats, and the other thing that he does is, you know, it's a remarkably consistent. If there's a wrestling event, he will be on after it.
Right.
Even if that means he's up till 2 or 3 in the morning. He's up till 2 or 3 in the morning, but he does cover it to where people know that they'll get his opinions. Dude, the only reason this show doesn't blow up is because we do too many topics.
And we do a lot of stuff.
If we just stayed on topic with one thing, if we just only did politics or whatever, this channel would be bigger. Our channels would be bigger. If we did only rock and roll, the channels would be bigger. The fact that we're all over the map, you know, I'm going to guess that we constantly lose people that come in looking for political stuff, and we're talking about your leg or my burns or, you know, the band 10 years or whatever it is that we're talking about, you know.
But see, at the same time, I like to do.
Sure, I do
That's the way
too.
I've always done, even radio. I mean, Triv, of all people, he never just sat there and did one topic and that was it. I mean, we'd get in arguments about Triv and about soup and chowder, and then the next day would be politics. Next day would be the Browns. I mean, that's what I like, because otherwise it gets boring and repetitive to me.
Yeah, it's a different medium, though.
I understand, but it is, but it is.
It is. It is because radio, and especially Triv show radio, that was, I'll call that trapped in the car radio. I guarantee you, and you would know better than me, the best numbers you guys did was between 5:15 and 6:15.
Of course.
When everybody was in their car going home. You know, and the 3 o'clock hour was probably the worst hour of the Triv show. Either 3 o'clock or 6 to 7. You know, once people got out of their car and were having dinner or whatever.
By the way, my wife texted my phone and said that you are 100% correct about me.
As far as what?
About
Everything?
lost the ability to take a
Jump
risk,
in?
jump into something, and you know, and I do get stuck. I get stuck in that routine of, okay, I'm happy doing this, so I don't want to take a chance, which is why I know that, you know, when we get back from our vacation here in a couple of weeks, I'm going to have to absolutely take some risk, and some of it's going to be really scary, and some of it's going to be probably stupid risk, but you got to do it because there's no reward if you don't take that risk.
That's it, dude. I've been very fortunate in this radio world because I've been able to navigate it without changing me, without changing my language, without changing my attitudes, without worrying about upsetting people. You know, I've done all that stuff and still been able to be somewhat successful. Now, am I the biggest name in the world? Absolutely not. But, you know, do I do one of the bigger rock podcasts in the world? Yes. You know, and a lot of it is because I take chances. Dude, and they're chances that may not work for you. I honestly don't believe you could take the amount of abuse that I take.
Oh, come on.
Like, if you got 100 emails a day telling you that you're fat and stupid and dumb and whatever, you would end up believing some of it, or you would play to it, because that's you. That's how you are. You are that way. That's why you go after everybody on Facebook all the time, because you can't stand that they don't see things your way.
Well, I like arguing about it.
I know, but what I'm saying is it would bother you. If you got 10 emails a week saying, you stupid one-legged fatso, then you would eventually, you'd be like, oh, I hate these guys. I hate this audience.
At the same time, you don't understand like how much abuse I took.
I know. I do understand. I was one of them giving it to you.
From texters that would literally text in every day, you're stupid, that's as, dumb as could be. I mean, I put fat ass and all that kind of I've dealt with that my entire 30-year career.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not afraid of that kind of stuff, but I mean, I just, you're right. As far as taking risk, I need to do something different.
Yeah.
and I need to, make a bigger splash than what I am doing. Because what I'm doing isn't. There's no light at the end of the tunnel here.
Right. Well, you just got to find it, dude. You got to take some risks, and it may not work. You might do the first one you do may not work. It may very well fail. So what? What else are you doing for the last days on the planet?
Well.
Take a chance, do something else. I still say you should. The real formula for you to have success, for me and you to have success, if we wanted to do a partnership thing, would be to do. And somebody said it in the, I think Habu said it in the chat as well, that I'm the best amateur shrink that they've heard in a long time. This is the show we should be doing. Me and you should be doing a show on surviving ultimate awful and having guests that have survived the ultimate awful. The guy that got tangled up in the wires and his house burnt down around him and he got burned 95% of his body but survived, or the guy that got his leg cut off in a sawmill or something, or we should do that kind of a show because it would be real. It wouldn't be the garbage that you get all the time where it's like, and you've heard this, I'm sure you've heard this as you've talked to people that have gone through amputee stuff. You got one set of people that are afraid to talk about it, and they're real quiet. Then you got the other set that are like, and then Jesus came down and he picked me up and carried me out. It's like, shut up. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. You got up. You carried yourself out. Let's focus on that. Let's not focus on the magic clouds in the sky saving you. And let's have a real talk about how you can overcome this alleged shortcoming you've been handed. That's the show you should be doing, and that's the show I should do.
I agree. I really do.
We would have 100,000 subscribers in 6 months. Easily.
I'm more than open to it, so just so you're aware.
I'm more than willing to do it, dude. Why not? I don't have enough podcasts to do.
I also want to be a pirate at Disney.
There you go. See, there's nothing wrong with that. Why not? If you move to Florida,
yeah,
you could absolutely. You could live in Kissimmee and go to Disney every day and put on a wood leg instead of a steel one.
I mean, I'm absolutely a person that they would have to hire based on disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
I got to start taking some advantage of this stuff.
You should.
I mean, hell, I'm disabled. You want to call me handicapped? Call me handicapped all you want. I like my parking, and I'm more than happy to take advantage of any offer that comes my way.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff does not go my way.
I think the show would benefit from like politics on Monday, sports on Wednesday, and life stuff on Friday. So I don't think it would. I don't think it would under this realm. I think it would if we did the Monday show was politics with Seth and Wednesday was, sports talk, and Friday was, if it was 3 different podcasts, I think it would do a lot better than just one podcast.
Yeah, I get you. I believe that.
I'm going to hit this one this is a selfish one, but I'll hit it too. Cody, I agree with you on that about the original Chris Akin Presents when I did the solo stuff and did movie and TV reviews. I'm actually in the process of working on something like that because, and again, Seth, this goes into jumping in the water with both feet. I still don't feel like I do enough with the podcast. I want to do the podcasting full time. I want to stop doing web work and whatnot. I hate it. So I'm trying to do more and more stuff to make more and more money doing podcasting. One of the things I've thought about doing every morning is like a coffee with Chris type of a thing that would be anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes in the mornings, and doing like I found a great new free channel for Roku and Amazon and stuff that I want to cover. Just because it's free and it doesn't have commercials or whatever, it's something that I think would be cool for people that love that stuff. I'm going to do something like that. I watched the newest documentary on finding Osama bin Laden on Netflix. I need to cover that. I need to do that kind of stuff too. I just don't have enough time in my life for that.
I mean, if we were going to do like a show that was around this kind of stuff with the leg and your burns and stuff like that. It shouldn't be the Seth Williams Show with Chris Akin or whatever. It should be a totally different branded podcast featuring the both of us.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it'd have to be a completely different show altogether.
Yeah. What's the bigger profit for me, pinball place or web work? Web work. I let the profits from the pinball place stay at the pinball place. That's how it runs.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I get some from it. I mean, I'm not saying I don't get anything from it, but for the most part, everybody else gets paid. And then, I mean, not to turn this into a business show, but the first $9,000 that are earned every month goes to the electric company and the lease owner. So, and so the first $9,000 that I make at $20 an hour or $20 a person goes to that. And then, staff, food, tablecloths, cleaning, gas, internet, phones, blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty hefty nut to keep that place going.
People don't think about how much a business actually costs to run.
It's expensive.
Start making a profit.
Look, I have no problem sharing the knowledge. I have to make about $12,000 a month at Pinball PA to make sure everything's paid. If I do more than that, then I get paid. But that's a pretty hefty nut. $12,000 at $20 a hit.
Do you ever watch like Shark Tank?
I've seen it, but I've never really watched it like a viewer.
I don't like watching it now just because like Mark Cuban's a total lib and
jerk.
Yeah, whatever. And but so they frustrate me. But there's some people that go on there with like great products, and they ask, "Well, how much in sales do you have?" Over $1 million in sales. Oh, that's great. How much you make? Well, we're losing $250,000 a month or a year. I mean, because there's a lot of overhead with this stuff. So even if you make $1 million in sales, you still aren't even turning a profit with some of this.
Yeah, and let's be fair, those guys on Shark Tank, they're not always right. They turned down DDP Yoga. That guy's made like $200 million with that.
And Ring Doorbell, I think, didn't get a deal, and
they did okay for themselves.
A little bit.
Now every crime show you watch, they go right to the Ring cam to see if there's video.
All right, let's take another quick break here, and
okay.
If you want to advertise for the show, please do, because we will be taking breaks, especially on Wednesdays.
Yes.
So we'll be right back in a minute or two. Hang on.
Get ready to turn up the excitement at your next event with the Perfect Choice Band, the ultimate party starters in Ohio and beyond. Picture this: 2 electrifying vocalists, a powerhouse rhythm section, and a horn ensemble that will blow you away. That's right, the Perfect Choice Band isn't just another cover band. We're here to transport you to the heart of the party with unforgettable renditions of your favorite hits. From classics to chart toppers, we've got your playlist covered. Our mission? To keep you singing and dancing until the stars fade into dawn. So, why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary? Call 440-346-5242 or visit us at perfectchoiceband.com to book the ultimate entertainment experience for your special day. The Perfect Choice Band, where every moment is music to your ears. Don't miss out. Book now and let's make memories together.
Hey, it's Chris Akin from the Classic Metal Show, Chris Akin Presents, and the Seth Williams Show, straight from the uncensored heart of the CMS network. We've just been crowned a certified Rumble creator, and that means we're bringing the heat. All our shows, commercial-free, baby. Advance episode drops sometimes months before the normal release, so you're not stuck waiting. You'll get all this plus exclusive content for Rumble Premium subscribers that'll blow your mind. And with Rumble Premium, you'll get every CMS Network show and all of Rumble's other videos with no ads and no fluff. This is our official home, Rumble. It's raw, powerful, and unfiltered. You want in? Just hit us up at rumble.com/register/classic metal show to sign up for free commenting, chat live, and just your ability to join the chaos of all of our shows. Then while you're there, swing by any of our videos, smash that Rumble Premium button, and level up. Subscribe now. Don't sleep on this. Hit the link in the description.
Right back here on the Seth Williams Show with Chris Akin.
We are here. Dude, somebody, Cody put it in the chat room. The Tylenol murders documentary on Netflix was really good. Did you see that?
I have not. I think I started watching and fell asleep.
That one, it's pretty, I mean, do you remember it when it happened, when it was actually happening? That was what, in the early 90s maybe?
Yeah.
Dude, so, and if I'm wrong on this, anybody that's seen it, just chime into the chat room and correct me. Don't wait till the comments to say that I'm dumb, because I wasn't fully paying attention, but I was watching it. So they get this old lady. Her husband dies from the taking the Tylenol. She has 2 brand new bottles of the Tylenol. When they find, they check out and find that she has 2 bottles. They arrest this lady. She comes up as not being the one that's guilty, but this guy was like the BTK killer. The guy that was doing the cyanide poisoning. Yeah. He was taunting the media. He was sending letters saying, this is how I do it. It takes 10 minutes. This is the kind of cyanide I'm using. He was totally taunting the media. I don't remember any of that. Do you?
No.
I just remember them saying, if you have Tylenol, throw it away.
Yeah.
That's all I remember. I don't remember anything past that, but that was a really good documentary. If Netflix does anything good, it's documentaries.
Oh, yeah. I watched a World War II one last night, because I was kind of like up and down and up all night, so just being sick. And this World War II documentary is fantastic, man.
What's it called? Do you know?
No, I can't remember. I could probably look it up. But
I just watched.
Really good.
I just watched the newest Manhunt Osama bin Laden one.
Yeah, was that good?
That was really good too. There was. I can't believe that 25 years after 9/11, and we're still seeing videos of like new information. They had all kinds of new information and new angles of the buildings hitting the planes, or the planes hitting the buildings, and different views of the president on the plane, flying around Mexico City, wherever he was. It was crazy.
The documentary is World War II from the front lines, and it's a bunch of different episodes, but it's really, really good the way that they did it.
I love Netflix for documentaries. Not much else anymore. Isn't it weird, dude? What, even like 4 or 5 years ago, everybody had Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
That's all we all watched. We all sat around and watched House of Cards, Orange is the New Black, or, Stranger Things, whatever it was. Netflix became the water cooler channel. It was the only thing we were talking about. Now, I don't know anybody talking about anything on Netflix. Do you?
No, but I remember, Netflix, I thought was the coolest thing way back when it first started. And they'd
the CDs?
They'd mail you DVDs, and then you'd have to mail them back and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I did that too.
But I was always a Blockbuster guy, man. I was like just going to the store, picking it up. But they never had what I wanted.
Blockbuster had the mail thing too.
And I'm talking like an original.
Yeah, the original Blockbuster, where you'd go in and there's like 75 copies of the movie that you want on the wall, but they were all sold out.
All sold out, yeah.
Yeah, because there weren't 75 copies. There were like 3.
But they had the case. They had to pick
They just had the cases, yeah.
I remember, and I hope the statute of limitations, I'm sure, has run out. But I was a kid, and my mom got a call from Blockbuster. And they were like, yeah, you're missing, I think it was like Aladdin or some crap like that. And then some other dumb movie. And it's like, no, I know that, my son returned those. And I knew that in my closet was the movies, and I never returned them because I just was lazy and didn't do it. They wanted to charge me I think these videotapes were like $20, and they wanted to charge like $500 for a missing tape. And I never returned those. I ended up burning them, so there was no evidence.
Dude, I have one of those charges at the library here in Twinsburg. I can't check out books at the library because they claim I have some book that I never returned, and it's at like $1,000 or something.
I did that because I think we had to get I had an interview with the Howard Stern channel on Sirius, New York, and I needed sound effects CDs. I needed a bunch of stuff to take with me to the thing.
Right.
And so we ended up having to get a library card and my wife's name or something like that because I couldn't get books out either.
Right.
So I ended up getting them, and I never. I don't think I can ever go back to the library again. I'm surprised it's not my daughter.
Right.
Whatever. I'm having
Dude, something happened to your microphone. It's acting weird now.
Why?
I don't know. There you go.
And I'm having an insurance problem.
Yeah. Your microphone's a little weird today.
Was it any different than it was before?
Now it's good. Like when you're right on it, it's fine. But when you're
I
even
am right on it. I'm almost. I'm not going to say it's a non-swearing day.
even if you're a little to the left or whatever, you're getting that wah 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 wah.
Well, I hope not. I mean, otherwise the radio's going to sound really crappy on Sunday morning. I don't really care all that much.
Maybe it's just that you're sick.
It could be, but So during the show here, I've gotten 3 calls from the insurance company. I need a new liner for my leg. Right.
Okay.
So the liner is the part that actually plugs into the prosthetic part.
Yeah.
And I've talked about this before, but I need a new one because this one's the one I have on right now is 3 years old, and it really does kind of hurt to walk on.
Okay.
And so I found a new prosthetic place to go to, and I thought it was great. They were super nice. They have an appointment for me on Friday because they said I needed a new one. They're going to give me order new ones, and I'm going to go get some on Friday.
Okay.
Well, the insurance company calls me and says that we have a $7,000 deductible.
$7,000 deductible.
Yeah. And we are nowhere near our limit, whatever. So this liner is going to cost me $1,800.
Jesus.
So they want to put me on a payment plan. And I have to pay $200 to start, and then they're going to do $88 a month for the next 18 months of my life.
For the privilege of having something that you have to have.
To be able to walk.
Dude, you've got to get yourself on disability so that all these charges will be done.
I got to do something. I have to. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy.
If I could make one myself, I would do it. But, one thing I got to look into, I've noticed that there's a lot of grants and stuff like that out there for people with the disability that I have, for amputees.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So I got to start looking into those and see what they can do for me because something's got to give here. I can't afford $1,800 every year or two to replace something that I need to walk.
Well, if you were on disability, though, like all the doctors and all the stuff would be covered, right?
I would assume.
I would think so.
And so they just called me during the show and they said, since you have yet to make a payment, well, I said, well, I'm not on a budget plan yet. But since I've not made a payment, they are not ordering my stuff until I do. And so they've now canceling my appointment for Friday.
Since you haven't paid for something that you haven't ordered, you can't make an appointment to get something that you haven't ordered.
How about when I go in and you have it for me, I'll make a payment.
Yeah. Like when you pick it up.
Yeah. But no, apparently they have now canceled my appointment, so God only knows when I'm going to get these things. I found another prosthetic joint around my house. I might go check that place out. I don't know. This is a nightmare. Dealing with insurance companies and doctors is a nightmare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like it's a big pain in the ass.
So I asked, I said, is my insurance plan just that bad? She's like, it's not great. But then she goes, but if you had Obamacare, you'd really be screwed.
Thanks. No kidding.
It is beyond frustrating dealing with this kind of stuff.
I'd imagine so.
I mean, what did you do was all your stuff taken care of at your hospital? Did you have great insurance or what?
Workers' comp paid everything. because I got hurt at work. Workers' comp. I look. There's a lot of things I could complain about. I cannot complain at all. My medical bills were $4.5 million.
Oh.
And I never saw a bill. I never one time got a bill to the house. Never. I never had to negotiate with anybody. I woke up out the coma and all of it was solved. I don't know if Georgetta did it or our lawyer, or I don't know who handled it, but I didn't. And it was all covered.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the way it was for me with me and my hospital visit and everything. I had no insurance when I went into the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And so Metro, which is a county-controlled hospital or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all the stuff was paid for. And I felt bad because, but I didn't have insurance. I just got fired and everything.
Why'd you feel bad?
Well, one, I felt bad because if I had insurance, I might have been put into a better hospital.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
Two, I felt bad because, I'm not that kind of guy, dude. I've never wanted free stuff.
Yeah.
I've worked hard for a living for, my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Since I was 16 years old, I've been working hard. Mm-hmm. And so, not having, but I was happy not having any bills. Can you imagine what those bills would have been for?
Well, yes, I can, actually. Yes, I can.
I mean, I don't know what it costs to saw off a leg, but I can't imagine you just pick up a chainsaw in the background.
Well, and how long were you in the hospital?
Just over a month.
And that's at like $3,000 to $5,000 a day. For in-house care like that. So 5,000 times 30. That's 150 grand right there.
It's scary, man. It's scary how they get you. To stay alive, we have to pay.
Every time they took blood from you is probably another $1,200, and that's 3 times a day.
And how much does that actually cost?
About $1.25.
Right. They give you
Well,
aspirin.
it's the training. It's the training of the nursing staff.
Okay, if they give you an aspirin, it's like $600.
Yeah, I know. It's nutty. That being said, I got nothing but love for Metro because I went to Metro as well, and their burn unit is second to nobody. And I don't know if you remember when you had the burn unit nurses on.
Oh, yeah.
With you and Mike, I could not jump fast enough to call in on that show and donate a bunch of books and everything else to the burn unit because I love the people at Metro, man. They gave me every day that I have, and I am thankful. It may not be the best hospital in town, but it was good enough.
Well, I believe me. I mean, I'm thankful for what they did. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the doctor that did my surgeries and all that kind of stuff was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I just talked to that guy the other day. Actually, saw him him and his wife at the movies.
Oh, cool.
So that's kind of cool. But and actually, he's trying to open up a Radio Hall of Fame, like in the arcade or something like that downtown.
Nice.
And
So you'll have, who will be in that Hall of Fame? You'll have Triv,
all right.
John Lanigan.
Lanigan probably has to be in there, right?
He has to be. I'm just trying to think. Alan Freed.
Alan has to be in there.
Then it starts thinning out quite a bit. Boom.
I think probably that entire cast
That era. Yeah.
of MMS Mornings has to be on there. I mean, we're talking about Jeff and Flash, and
Yeah, Jeff and Flash. The 80s era.
Kid Leo.
Kid Leo. But after that, I mean, that would be a very empty building in my mind.
Well,
I mean, who are you going to put in there? Greg Brinda?
Denny Sanders. There's some country guys that would probably be in there.
Kenny Rhoda?
Easy.
Jeff Sindelar?
I'm telling you right now, if they put Greg Brendan in there, I might burn the place down. Do not put that guy in there.
Well, he's in like the real Radio Hall of Fame, isn't he?
I don't like that. Longevity shouldn't get you into a Hall of Fame.
I totally agree. He sucked. He always sucked. I used to listen to KNR. Like, that was kind of my station. Like, back before 92.3, when the only sports station was KNR, that was all I listened to. And they were terrible. All of them shows were terrible. Sindelar, Brenda. Look, if we're naming guys that should be in the Hall of Fame, it's all those 80s guys, Triv, Pete Franklin.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Is there any... You know who's going to get put in there. Rover, Alan Cox.
Ugh.
But they're going to get put in.
Look, Rover, I guess I kind of understand. Look, I know you
He's
don't
had
like...
a long time here.
He's had a long time here, and the ratings were good. I think the ratings were pretty good only because there's never been anybody up against him. I mean,
Yeah.
who did he have to really beat?
Nobody. He came in in the wave when Stern left.
Yeah,
I mean, I think he was on before that at 92, but
yeah. Because he took over for some of Stern's stations.
I mean, who else are you going to put in there? Are you going to put Michael Stanley in there?
You almost
I'm
have
not.
to. You have to. I mean, I don't.
Why?
Well,
As a
he was-
radio guy, name one radio bit he ever did.
Yeah, I can't name something to you.
All he ever did was played songs and said, "Hey, that was Van Halen, and guess what? Here's Pink Floyd. Did I tell you half my band is in Wish You Were Here? Well, here's Pink Floyd anyway." You know, that was Michael Stanley. Was the
Yes.
other guy? The other guy at 98? Bill Lewis.
Bill Lewis.
Bill Lewis probably got to get in there because he helped invent TSO.
Yeah, and he had some other things he did with the station that he
Yeah.
probably could. Len Boom Boom Goldberg, yes, I think has to be in there.
Yeah.
Abu.
Joe Tate.
Joe Tate, definitely. I mean, if we're going to go to the sports radio, I mean, he was a radio guy, so Joe Tate has to be in there. Nev Chandler has to be in there.
The guy that just died.
Jimmy Donovan.
Yeah, Jim Donovan.
I don't know. I mean, I know that I'm going straight to hell for saying this, and people can disagree with me if they want. I didn't think he was all that great at what he did.
Jim Donovan?
As far as radio calls,
I thought he was okay.
I think he was decent with his sports stuff on Channel 3 or whatever. I thought he was good.
How about Rick Manning?
Rick Manning, ball player, but how good was he at radio?
He's pretty good at doing the broadcast. Well, of course, that's TV, not radio.
Yeah, Tom Hamilton, definitely.
Tom Hamilton, definitely.
I mean, he's in a baseball Hall of Fame. He's got to be in a radio Hall of Fame here.
Herb Score?
Eh.
See, I always thought Herb sucked, but everybody loved him.
Well, there was a good chemistry when Herb Score was on there. It was entertaining to listen to because there were like funny stories and stuff.
Right.
I mean, I've heard a lot of them. And some of them are really, really good. Kid Leo, yes, we mentioned.
I guess there's enough to do a small room.
It's a small room.
Not 10,000 square feet.
When I talked to the guy at the movies about him doing this, he said he wanted to call me and talk about how helping him put it together. Well, then if that's the case, then I want in it.
Fuck. Sorry. There's one you got to edit. Write that down. No, dude. Forget being in it. Let's profit from helping build it.
Something.
Forget building it. Let's or forget being in. Who needs a picture on the wall? I'd rather get $10,000 by making the phone calls to organize the ceremony or whatever.
Absolutely, I would do that.
That sounds way better than, hey, there's my picture on the wall.
And then, though, how far do you go out with it? I mean, do you go out with like guys that put together concerts, like a Live Nation kind of thing? Like, there's guys that have been around doing that. So, like, what's the name of the? Come on, the concert promoting guys,
Belkins?
I mean, would they be involved?
They're not radio, but they're not radio guys. They're
But
just
they did a lot of the radio concert stuff.
they're just promoters, though. I mean, if we're gonna do that, then we're gonna turn this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame just like the other Rock and Roll Hall
Yeah,
of Fame.
I know, which I don't want to do.
If it's radio, it's radio. It should be people that have been on the radio. Carmen Angelo?
No. Again, longevity doesn't get you in. But Carmen's
Holly Strano?
yes. She's not a radio person.
She did radio. She used to do traffic
Okay.
or weather, one of them.
But again, she's a mainly TV person. I mean, if we're going to do a Media Hall of Fame, I put her in there.
I just put her in there because I want to see her at the award ceremony.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd put her in there naked, but that's just me.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see the bust on that one.
And not the headshot.
Yes. But I'm trying to figure out, like, other people that we could put in. I mean, I know there's been a bunch of country guys that have.
Yeah, but we don't know any of those people. There's probably a bunch of people. How about, like, Dancing Danny Wright from back in the day?
Yeah, I have to.
Does he get in there?
Yes. Man, I remember just some of the hacks of radio, man.
Dude,
Like,
we've had a lot of bad ones, too.
what about, like, a Slat?
Slats? See, Slats would be on the cusp.
He definitely would be.
He
Right?
should be. I think he should be in there, but
I mean, he did MMS afternoons for a while, and then now he does, what, 98.5 mornings?
and he does the crunch games sometimes.
Jim Mantell, that's a good one.
Jim Mantell, oh my goodness.
He did. He had great ratings on 99.5 for quite some time.
See, I never really listened to. What was the guy on WZAK? Tolliver? Lynn Tolliver?
Yeah.
Does he get in?
Yeah.
I think he's an automatic, right?
They have to be diverse.
Well, yeah. But he did have a long history with WZAK, too.
Without a doubt. What about the blind guy?
The blind guy?
Yeah, I think it's
Greg Mack?
No. Not the bike guy, the blind guy.
Oh.
Who's the blind guy in 102?
I don't know the blind
Larry.
guy.
Now I gotta look it up. Blind radio.
Gary D.
Gary D has to be in there.
I don't know of a blind guy from Cleveland radio.
Yes. Come on. Come on. Look it up.
Blind guy, Cleveland radio. Trapper Jack?
Yes, Trapper Jack. Gotta go in there.
All right, Trapper Jack's in there, huh? All right. I had no idea he was blind. Pete Cheeky?
Who?
Exactly.
Don Imus.
I'm just throwing names now.
Don Imus, I believe, was a Cleveland guy at one point.
Was he?
Yeah. I said, Flash and Kids Box, those guys got to be in there.
Yeah. Philip Keller?
There's maybe some news guys that have been around for a while.
Dick Goddard?
Not a radio guy.
Yeah, no, he didn't do radio.
Tom Moore. Tom Moore. Radio has been a news guy forever and a day. He might.
How about the dudes that you worked with, though, that did the morning show? Snyder.
Bill Wills and Mike Snyder.
Yeah.
I would definitely put them in. No doubt.
They should probably go. They've been there for a long time. But again, now we're just making it about if they've been there for a long time.
No, but I mean, they have done a lot of great things in radio. Like I would say, Jimmy Malone.
Jimmy Malone, yeah.
Not like him as far as politics goes, but I think he's a great guy and a great radio guy.
Liz Wilde.
I don't think she did anything.
She was only here, 6 months or something?
It was terrible.
She was awful, trying to be like the female Howard Stern. She was the worst.
It was not good.
No, she sucked.
I'm trying to think of any other radio member.
Maxwell?
No.
And
no
Punt.
Jesus. What a show.
Stansberry?
Don't even get me started, man.
No Stansberry?
Only for personal reasons I can't do it, because I think that he was just such a non-friend to me that I just can't get behind it. I mean, I wish I could tell the stories of that disaster of a friendship. Because
Corey Roddick?
I really like that guy, and I stopped him from getting fired. He doesn't care. Corey Roddick?
Yeah. He's been on radio.
Now you're talking longevity, and you're not talking...
Yeah, I mean, he's been on the radio 20 whatever years at this point.
You're talking longevity.
Yeah.
John Gorman? Absolutely.
Matt Wardlaw?
Did he have enough longevity?
Well, Wardlaw did the metal show, and then he did another show after for 5 years or whatever.
I mean, I love him. I mean,
that's 17 years.
Yeah. Is he a household radio name, though?
Well, he's still doing it. He's doing a national broadcast now. He's the host of the Loudwire show that's national.
That's pretty cool.
So, yeah, he's still, if nothing else, he's like a national guy that broke out of here. He's our friend, so we think about it. We forget a lot of times to think of him, but he's made it, man.
Yeah. Maxwell, stupid, not funny. I'll just be honest. It was one of the reasons that show ended up kind of costing me my first marriage.
The Maxwell show?
Yeah, not that I wasn't happy about that, but that was a big reason why I ended up getting divorced.
Right.
Because there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that people don't know about when it came to my career on that station. And a couple of guys that were just, God, we picked the wrong day to not swear when I talk about this stuff. Because there's a couple of guys that are just, they're just horrible, horrible people.
Yeah, well, that's radio.
Look, I will never say that I'm a great person, but I have a decent heart. I'm a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the innards to stab people in the back or to hurt people.
Sure.
Or to, I don't. It's just not me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple of people that we've mentioned so far that absolutely could care less who they step on to walk all over to get their career in Canton radio. Geez, glad you made it.
Yeah, congrats. You and Mike Chiselka should be happy down there in Canton.
Yeah.
Mike Chiselka?
Oh, yeah, put him in.
He should be in. He's got that show on NIR now.
He should be in the comedy hall.
Where's his show? What is it on? WVOU or something?
Ugh. That guy. Man, he should be in the Comedy Hall of Fame.
Well, yeah, he should be. I don't know if you've heard, but he did tour with Sam Kinison.
Well, I was just about to bring that up. And then we got to go. I was listening to Howard the other day.
Yeah.
And he had a guy on that used to tour with Sam Kinison.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about all these different guys that would tour with Sam and this and that. And literally, it's a 20-minute conversation talking about all these different guys. And not one time did they mention Mike Chiselka.
Why do and I don't know this, and I hate crapping on this guy's head like this, but why do I think he played one or two gigs with Kinison?
I think he did all right with him. But
you think so?
Yeah.
But nobody's ever talked about him.
I know.
Maybe he was the driver.
Maybe he just wasn't as funny.
Just drove the bus.
You can check Mike out at Crackpots.
Crackpots, there you go.
All right, time to wrap this portion up. We're going to head over to Mines, I guess.
Okay.
See how long we last over there. Thanks, everybody, for listening today. We do appreciate it. God willing, we'll talk to you again on Monday, assuming that Chris is still walking and not paralyzed, and I haven't died from COVID number 12.
That's right.
Have a great rest of the weekend, a good weekend, my friends. Talk to you later. See you on Minds in about 3 minutes. Hang on.
See ya.
Seth Williams loves this land, stands tall and proud. Believes in freedom, speaks his mind out loud. Mentored by Triv, he learned to be tough. Life knocked him down, but he got back up. Lost a leg, but he's still strong and true. Chasing dreams under skies of red, white, and blue. Voting for Trump, he shouts it clear. WTAM tried to bring him down, but he's still here. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. Hates LeBron James, won't wear that crown. Prefers hard work and blue jeans in this town. Radio waves try to shut him up, but Seth keeps singing, filling that cup. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air.
This episode of the CMS Network is brought to you by our sponsor, Blackout Coffee. If you are a coffee lover, you will love what they are selling over at Blackout Coffee. Make sure you get yourself some. The only thing woke about this company is the drinker of the coffee, because it gives you quite a jolt. I am a personal fan of the Brutal Awakening Dark Roast, but everybody's a little bit different. Make sure you get what is your favorite today. Go to blackoutcoffee.com. Use the promo code CHRIA20 to save 20% on your first order. It's that simple. So one more time, blackoutcoffee.com. That is the link, or use the full link if you're going to shop around, that is scrolling on the bottom, and get yourself some of the best coffee that is out there today. blackoutcoffee.com.
I had an interest in music, always.
It's always kind of been around me some way, shape, or form.
5 minutes sitting on a drum set, man, change your life.
This is the same black guitar that Marty McFly plays in Back to the Future.
I love the feeling I get in front of the freaking full stack here, just the vibration or something to it.
I'm lucky because I do have a little bit of a tap into the Fu Manchu lore, into the Nebula lore.
In order to keep things going, you kind of have to like start playing the game a little bit, you know, like the business game.
Everybody has to get through a day-to-day, and how do you exist and how do you get by?
As far as getting people to commit to bands, it's tough to keep a lot together these days, for sure.
Still sleeping on people's floor, that's still a reality.
Probably also playing with some of the best people I've ever played with. The creative juices don't stop. It just keeps going.
For me, it's just finding a balance of how much time I'm spending with my family versus how much time I'm spending working.
It's this validation that what you're doing actually has merit.
Obviously, we're a little long in the tooth, and we've been doing this for a minute, and now we can kind of do what we want. We don't need a record company. I'll do it myself. I'll do it the way I want to.
Just always be cool. Just be respectful. Those are your people. They're connecting to you on some level, even if they don't look like you.
It's got to happen, you know, or else I'll go crazy. I'll go crazy one way or another, you know. I might as well, you know, not go crazy if I can play music.
Maybe one day I'll have a Porsche, but, you know, until that day, I'll drive a Chevy.
There you go.
All right?